They would come to our center and then learn the skills to go back out, you know, as a non-homeless person.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Just a reminder too, DBT.
right. I was just getting ready to say, what exactly is DBT? Dialectical Behavioral Therapy.
So it is a form of CBT therapy, and it is a way to reshape your thinking and your behaviors in order to live a normal life. It's a way to keep yourself from being too emotional or being too logical, and to stay present and to stay wise and to be
Wise
able
mind.
to, the wise
Yeah.
mind.
Right. And what they're talking about is wise mind therapy, when you, like she just said, where you're not overly logical, overly rational, and you're not overly emotional.
Programs and hospitalized and those things, it kind of follows whatever path that mental health system follows.
Okay.
And so not everyone would have exposure to either of them or both of them or in any particular order.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So for me, I had already been what my therapist had called distress. So I was having, there's a trigger warning coming up of self-harm. I had suicidal ideation that I was struggling with, like so bad, and depression that I was struggling with. So both of my therapists immediately wanted me to do DBT because that's a part of like the distress area, and you're able to learn different ways to manage and cope with your distress through going through all the therapy. It brings,
And it was, being explored in other areas of mental health, not just borderlines. So, anyway.
could you elaborate what borderline you're
Borderline
referencing?
personality disorder.
Okay.
So basically, which is a co-occurring disorder with a primary diagnosis of something like bipolar disorder.
Or
There's
like
always
everything.
like a personality
Everything.
disorder thrown into the mix.
Well, it's a spectrum.
One of each.
Yeah, that's true. No, like what I mean and what she's talking about is I was first diagnosed with PTSD, and then okay, now it's anxiety. Okay, now it's depression. Okay, now it's an eating disorder, but it's not like anorexia. It's like anorexia, bulimia, all of them.
Yeah.
And then
Not otherwise specified.
yeah, there you go. I know the initials.
NOS.
Yeah. So I got.
Sure, I probably like could have used it
You're like
as
the
a
most normal BPD person I've ever met. Then
like we said, there's a spectrum here, and I'm somewhere on it. But
How is it that you were diagnosed with that? And what do you think it's rooted in?
so we've touched on this a little bit, but I mean, my mother was a massive narcissist.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! Like,
You needn't say more.
yeah, say less. Like the BPD narcissist relationship is just inevitable. I've learned as I get older, and for whatever reason, if you have BPD, you just attract narcissist.
Well, if you
haven't been-
familiar with narcissists.
Right. But yeah, it came from a lot of early childhood trauma, neglect from parents that just didn't.
Emotional neglect.
Yeah, they were always too busy, and I always just needed to keep quiet and do my own thing. So
That's the abandoned. So if you're predisposed to having borderline or anything because of biological reasons, and if your mom is a narcissist or whatever, you have this little predisposition in your body. But if you were raised in an environment that was normal, that would not come into fruition. You would not end up with borderline personality.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn my parents.
Exactly. Like, it's their fault. And that's why I feel that DBT skills are so helpful for parents to have.
I agree.
When dealing with their children.
I 100% agree. And one of the main reasons why I thought I needed to go on medication was because I like had postpartum depression, and then postpartum depression didn't get cured from the fucking medication. So I was still smoking weed. Yeah.
Like, feel...
Yeah.
Pay attention to...
Usually I'm feeling my
Hypersensitive.
feet. I'm very hypersensitive. And like hyper aware of everything.
But
right. And do you feel that right now you're more aware after you just had this traumatic event of seeing a foot?
Yeah, my hypervigilance.
You're feeling right now.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that the refrigerator was running, and now all of a sudden I can
heard
hear
the
like
click.
all these sounds.
That's a trauma response.
And oh yeah.
So this is part of your PTSD.
I don't know. I got stepped on when I was little.
Maybe that's...
I don't know.
So
I just
it is.
think
you're
feet
having
are
a
fucking
trauma
nasty.
response. You're
Maybe it's OCD.
No. This is a trauma response, and what you're having is a panic attack.
Yeah.
But it's in a different form. That I was just explaining this the other day, that not everyone, when they have a panic attack,
PTSD.
Yeah.
Like I don't know any other way to say it. Yeah.
Oh my God. So for me, so I was like severely physically abused my entire childhood, right up until I was 18, and even when I went back to visit. So, but basically I had this thing where growing up, I always had sneakers on in the house because I was always ready to run. Wow. And also, if I had sneakers on, I had to run into a room and close the door. I could put my sneaker on the bottom of the door, but then of course, like, the door would come right off the hinges, but I would try. But so it took me many years of living alone. I was always wearing sneakers. Like, I basically wore sneakers for many, many years afterward, just to make sure that I was ready to run. And always we're all there. My stepfather came when I was 2 and my brother was 4.
And then was your stepfather abusive to your older brother also?
Yes, to a point, until my older brother. So my biological father was involved in the development of computers, and he passed this skill to my brother all the time, starting with like a VIC-20, a Commodore 64. Like, we had the internet in our house before anyone. We had webcams. We had all of it. So my brother learned how to hack.
Oh my gosh,
so,
my boyfriend.
Nice.
Yeah. So he told my stepfather, if you touch me again, I will destroy you with one push of a button. Who knows, like, if he could really do that.
So
but...
he obviously like got to a point where he didn't give a fuck anymore and wanted to take whatever
and he like got a
was.
gun and he like pointed it at him, and so he never...
I just wonder why.
We're all there. My stepfather came when I was 2 and my brother was 4.
And then was your stepfather abusive to your older brother also?
Yes, to a point, until my older brother. So my biological father was involved in the development of computers, and he passed this skill to my brother all the time, starting with like a VIC-20, a Commodore 64. Like, we had the internet in our house before anyone. We had webcams. We had all of it. So my brother learned how to hack.
Oh my gosh,
so,
my boyfriend.
Nice.
Yeah. So he told my stepfather, if you touch me again, I will destroy you with one push of a button. Who knows, like, if he could really do that.
So
but...
he obviously like got to a point where he didn't give a fuck anymore and wanted to take whatever
and he like got a
was.
gun and he like pointed it at him, and so he never...
I just wonder why. I don't know, in Florida the abuse laws are a little wacky.
Yeah, it's different.
Just saying. I've looked them up.
No, but like, this was
when was that?
This was in like 1986
There
or
you
like in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was a very, like, we had double Blue Cross. We had all the best kind of insurance. She's the best
That
you could
doesn't-
get. No, but like, this is like the best person.
But at that time point, that time was not like, that is insane to me. I can't.
And
I
then
cannot
because
believe that.
of like, so this continued, like all of the craziness. You couldn't believe the things that happened, like what with my mom, like watching. And anyway, so then it became that
Are
I
they still
was
together?
yes, and then it became
So, that was like, okay, we're done. And, it happened a couple times. And then I was like staying like whole weeks, months at people's houses. Like, I just think that it's interesting that you were so calculating with it.
oh yeah.
I wonder if you learned that, because a lot of BPD people have learned behaviors, and their behaviors are bad behaviors, and a lot of your behaviors would have been like narcissist behavior traits. But no, I'm not saying, obviously, if you've been in therapy, you've never been diagnosed with it, then yeah. But borderline personality disorder can have narcissist traits also. Do you have any?
Like, there's definitely times where I'm like, damn, am I the narcissist? Like,
Yeah.
Is it me?
Well,
am
because
I the
this-
one?
Yes, because this